Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate 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 Vasudevaya.
No, not really going to work. Sorry. Suhin mitra yudasina madhyasta dvesha bandhushu sadhusha bijapapeshu samabhutir vishishyate. 6th chapter, text 9. A person is considered still further advanced when he regards honest well-wishers, affectionate benefactors, the neutral mediators, the envious, friends and enemies, the pious and the sinners, all with an equal eye. Om Jnana-timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Shapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jatapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Shagrashatam Shagana Raganatam Yatam Stam Savivam Svadvitam Svavadutam Parijana Setam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Shagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Takta Kanchana Gaurambi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Suke Devi Pranamami Puri Priye Panchalko Ptarupyascha Kripa Sindho Pyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. In the previous verse, Lord Krishna has described the self-realized person. Jnana Vijnana Triptatma Kutasto Vijitendriya Yuktit Yuchate Yogi Samalostrasma Kanchana. He sees pebbles, stone and gold, an equal platform. So material things. Now, in terms of persons also, he sees equally Samabhuti, the well-wishers, these are different kinds of friends, Suhrid, Mitra, Bandhu. These are all different names of friends. Some are more intimate friends, some are ordinary friends. But for the self-realized person, the friends are all equal. The Udasina, the neutral party is also seen equally. Madhyashta. Yes, again, mediators. Dvesha, the envious, the honest people, sadhus, the papeshu, sinful people. Samabudhir Vishishite. He sees them all as spiritual beings. And therefore, in the Ishopanishad, it said that he sees all living beings as being one with Krishna in quality. Yes. So, these are all the qualifications of a person who's fit to make advancement on the path of yoga. Yogi, what is that verse? Yogi unjita satatam atmanam rasistata ekaki yatachitatma nirashir aparigraha. This is the beginning of Lord Krishna's description of how to practice the Ashtanga Yoga system. A transcendentalist should always engage his body, mind, and self in relationship with the Supreme. He should live alone in a secluded place and should always carefully control his mind. He should be free from desires and feelings of possessiveness. Would you like to read the purport?
Yes. Krishna is realized in different degrees.
Someone can give a microphone, I guess.
Krishna is realized in different degrees as Brahma, Paramatma, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna consciousness means concisely to be always engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. But those who are attached to the impersonal Brahma or the localized Supersoul are also partially Krishna conscious, because the impersonal Brahma is the spiritual ray of Krishna, and the Supersoul is the all-prevailing partial expansion of Krishna. Thus, the impersonalist and the mediator are also indirectly Krishna conscious. A directly Krishna conscious person is the topmost transcendentalist, because such a devotee knows what is meant by Brahma and Paramatma. His knowledge of the absolute truth is perfect, whereas the impersonalist and the meditative yogi are imperfectly Krishna conscious.
So there are different kinds of transcendentalists. The Jnanis are also transcendentalists. Those who are meditating on some impersonal objective, they're also transcendentalists. And the Paramatmavadis, those who are interested in finding the super soul within the heart, they're also transcendentalists. Jnana vastata tadgatina manasa pashanti yogi. They're able to see the Paramatma within the heart. And the bhaktas, the devotees, are the topmost transcendentalists. Yogi nama api sarvesham Madhgatina antaratmana Shraddhavan Bhajate Maham Same Yuktatama Vidha. At the end of the chapter, after describing this Ashtanga Yoga system, the Lord will make clear that the Bhakti Yogi is the best. Sometimes it's asked, why is the Lord explaining all of this? If Arjuna is going to say, I can't even do this, why start to begin with? But Krishna's presenting. Hare Krishna. About the same, I think.
There is a distortion.
Hmm?
There was a distortion.
There was a distortion. Okay. Is it okay now? Is it
Yeah.
high enough?
Correct.
Yeah, it's better.
Okay. So, Krishna's being comprehensive. You can't come back later and say, okay, you talked about bhakti, but aren't there other paths? Krishna is giving the other paths also. He says at the end, this is the highest yogi, but you haven't talked about any other yogis, so what is the meaning, highest yogi? No, the whole discussion is there. In science, if we want to establish some process as being the most suitable process, or we want to present some conclusion as the most suitable hypothesis or explanation, then we have to rule out the others. Or we have to account for the others. No, this will also work, this will also work, but this will work best in engineering. I suppose it's like that in computer code too. You can do it this way, you can do it this way, but this will be the most efficient and suitable way. So Krishna is explaining the whole story, how to do Ashtanga Yoga. And the beginning is, well, let's read on. Someone else want to read? Pass it around a little bit.
Nevertheless, all of these are instructed herewith to be constantly engaged in their particular pursuit, so that they may come to the highest perfection sooner or later. The first business of a transcendentalist is to keep the mind always on Krishna. One should always think of Krishna and not forget him even for a moment. Concentration of the mind on the Supreme is called samadhi or trance. In order to concentrate the mind, one should always remain in seclusion and avoid disturbance by the external objects. He should be very careful to accept favorable and reject unfavorable conditions that affects his realization. And in perfect determination, he should not hanker after unnecessarily material things that entangle him by feelings of possessiveness.
So, this is interesting. Srila Prabhupada, this is a summary of the verse, and Prabhupada's explaining all the terms. And then again, in the rest of the purport, he's going to explain them again. So this is like the first iteration. What are all these terms? And then there'll be a second iteration. What is, let's go deeper into these terms. So yogi, a transcendentalist, yunjita satatam. Yogi and it's almost redundant. These yogi and yoga and yunja are like cognates, similar terms, but not. It's defining. It's not simply redundant. But if you're a yogi, then you should be doing yoga. What is yoga? Concentration. Yogi yunjita satata. If you're serious about yoga, you should always be engaged in concentration on the ultimate objective. Satata. Always. Atmanam. And he should rahasistata. He should live in a secluded place. This is the beginning of the yoga system. Rahasi means secluded place. Elsewhere, it's coming? Yeah. Shucho deshe, pratistapya. Shucho deshe means a sacred place, a pure place. So the place should be pure, the place should be secluded, That means forget New York, forget Los Angeles, forget San Francisco, forget London. This yoga system described in Bhagavad Gita is not meant for cities or for sitting in our leotards and in a yoga class. Rasi, by oneself, not pay $50 for an hour and sit with 10 or 20 other people. No, that's not the system. The beginning is Rahasi, Sthita, it has to be in a secluded place. There's still places along the Ganges, not Hardware, Rishikesh, but away from them, still further secluded in the Himalayas. Still the rishis or yogis go there. Ekaki. Again, it's the same thing. Ekaki means by himself, alone, not with a group. Ekaki. And yata chittatma, he should always carefully control his mind. There are yoga teachers who say, oh, just let the mind go, let it wander wherever it wants. That's not the teaching of Bhagavad Gita. The mind should be controlled. Yoga indriya samyama, yoga means control of the senses, and the most important of the senses is the mind. So, yata chittatma, and nirashi. Nirashi means without aspirations, desires. Nirashi. And aparigraha means not holding on to anything, free from possessiveness. Now let's see where Srila Prabhupada takes this next. Yes, someone can read. Like to read?
All these perfections and precautions are perfectly executed when one is directly in Krishna consciousness. Because direct Krishna consciousness means self-abnegation, wherein there is very little chance for material possessiveness. Srila Rupa Goswami characterized Krishna consciousness in this way.
Yes. Anasaktasya Vishayan Yatarham Upayunjata Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe Yukta Vairagyam Uchate Prapanchakataya Pudya Varisambandhi Vastuna Mumukshibhi Parityago Vairagyam Palgu Katyate.
When one is not attached to anything but at the same time accepts everything in relation to Krishna, one is rightly situated above possessiveness. On the other hand, one who rejects everything without knowledge of its relationship to Krishna is not as complete in his renunciation.
Very important verses from Srila Rupa Goswami. Anasaktasya Vishvayan. First thing is one should be detached from Vishaya, sense gratification. Anasaktasya. Something will come for gratification of the senses, but one should not be attached. I have to have this, I have to have that, I want this, I want that, I can't live without this. Anasaktas, he's detached. Yadrishtraya labha santushto. He's satisfied with what comes of its own accord. Anasaktasya vishaya. And yatarham upayunjata. He uses everything, engages everything in Krishna's service. Nirbandha, with concentration. Krishna sambandhe, in relationship to Krishna. Yuktam vairagya, this is called yukta vairagya, or connectedness and at the same time detachment. He's detached because anasaktasya vishaya, he doesn't care about sense gratification. That's not what he's here for. But he engages everything in Krishna's service. It's Krishna's energy, it should be used for Krishna. The person who simply gives up everything, he's a fool. Because these things have value in relationship to Krishna. And the person who takes them for sense gratification, he's a thief. It's like if there were a wallet found here with, say, $1,000 in it. If I look at it, see $1,000, put it in my pocket, and I'm a thief. I know it's not mine. But I'm putting it in my pocket. And if I just leave it there, then I'm a fool. Some other thief may come. But if I return it to the rightful owner, then that's the proper thing to do. So Krishna is Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. He's the owner of everything. And therefore, everything should be used for Krishna. Prapanchakitaya buddhya harisambandhi vastuna. Harisambandhi vastuna means the same thing, that it's Krishna's property, his paraphernalia, as Prabhupada would say, his stuff, vastu, things. But prapanchakataya buddhya, there are some transcendentalists who think, oh, these things are all material. And we're aspiring for liberation. Mumukshubi. So parityaga. We'll give up all of these false things. We'll be renounced. But first thing is your renunciation. When was it yours to begin with? But giving it up is false. No, it's not false. Or giving it up as material. No, it's not even material. When it's connected to Krishna, it's spiritual. It's only when it's disconnected from Krishna that it becomes material. But because the less advanced transcendentalists don't know how to use everything for Krishna, they haven't come to the point of Krishna realization. They haven't been trained in bhakti yoga. So all they can think is, whoa, this is going to get me in trouble. So let me give it up. Well, okay, that's better than thinking, I could enjoy this. But it's kind of the flip side of the same coin. They're still relative to sense gratification. But, all right, he knows sense gratification is going to get me in trouble. So let me become detached. But his detachment is a kind of dry detachment, because it's only negative. I don't want to get involved with this, I don't want to get involved, this is Maya, that's Maya. Maya is on every side. It's going to be, no, not this, not this, not this, not that. Family life, no, that's Maya. Business life, no, that's Maya. Art, no, that's Maya. Music, no, that's Maya. devotion, no, that's Maya. Finally, the only thing that's not Maya is his philosophy. His own ideas, they're not Maya, but everything else is Maya. So, no, Rupa Goswami says, none of these things are material ultimately, because Krishna is spiritual, and everything belongs to Krishna. Sarva Kalavidam Brahma. Therefore, everything is Krishna and not Krishna at the same time. Krishna, Vastavam Sarvabhutana. Everything is Krishna's energy. And if trained to use it, one can use that energy very nicely. A Krishna conscious person well knows that everything belongs to Krishna, and thus he is always free from feelings of personal possessiveness. As such, he has no hankering for anything on his personal account. He knows how to accept things in favor of Krishna consciousness and how to reject things unfavorable to Krishna consciousness. He's always aloof from material things because he's always transcendental. And he's always alone, having nothing to do with persons not in Krishna consciousness. Therefore, a person in Krishna consciousness is the topmost yogi. So, here, everything belongs to Krishna. Simply to give up the sense of possessiveness will be very difficult. To give up the results of my work will be very difficult. I was in Gainesville, Florida, at the University of Florida. I forget exactly who it was, it's an Indian Association or something. They opened up a student center. And so they, at the opening ceremonies, they invited a Christian student to speak and a Muslim speaker to address the attendees, and a Hindu student, 3 doctoral students. And the Hindu student was the most confused. He was, as I remember, he was trying to explain how we should all work but not care about the results. Karma Nieva Adhikara State Now here's this PhD student who's working like anything to succeed in his degree program, and he's telling us how you shouldn't care about the results. And he was like tripping all over his mental shoelaces. It didn't really make sense. It's just a posture, that, yes, I'm working like anything, but I don't care about the results. I'm detached. Come on. Get off it. The materialist certainly cares about the results. But the transcendentalist in Krishna consciousness also cares about the results, because he wants to offer those results to Krishna. The same thing. Some fruit is there. The materialist wants to gobble it for himself. And the Mayavadi philosopher wants to say that there's no fruit, it's all false. So the first one is stealing Krishna's property. The second one is saying Krishna's property is false. And the devotee offers everything to Krishna. Yagyarta. Yat Kuroshi Yadashnashi. offering everything to Krishna. So he's free from possessiveness. The materialist, he's totally possessive. And the Mayavadi philosopher, no, beyond possessiveness. But it's hard, still even the Mayavadi philosopher will want to possess something. And the devotee, no, let me use it in Krishna's service. That's better than owning it, better than enjoying it for myself. It's too dedicated to the service of Krishna. And so he knows anukulyasya sankalpa pratikulyasya varjana. He knows how to accept everything favorable for the service of Krishna. And if it's unfavorable, even if he might like it, he gives it up. He's always aloof from material things, and he's always alone because he's not with anyone who's not Krishna conscious. The bhakti yogi doesn't have to go off to the Himalayas, but he'll always want to stay in the association of devotees, because where the devotees are, Krishna is. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna. So I'll stop here and see what kind of questions, if any, there might be. Krishna, 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 Krishna. Yes?
So Maharaj, when the bhakti yogi,
Mhm.
he says that when he offers everything to Krishna, when bhakti yogi offers everything to Krishna, how his detachment actually gets removed? How is attachment get removed basically, or
He's attached to offering everything to Krishna. That's as good as detachment, or better. Just like you want to, well, even for the materialist, the karmi, pious karmi, he gives to charity, so he becomes detached. He learns detachment by giving to charity. Or in a family, we get some money, but then we give it to our wife. So at least as far as the money is concerned, we're detached. The wife is going to make sure that the money is detached from us. Even if we're not detached from the money will be detached from us. But he gives it for the family. That means he's still attached only through the family. If the wife's happy, I'm happy. He's attached to the wife, therefore I'll give the money for the wife. But the Krishna conscious person gives everything to Krishna. So he's actually detached. I don't need it, I'll give it to Krishna. It's Krishna's property. And Krishna may also say, no, you take, just like prasadam. We offer to Krishna, Krishna's, no, you take. So he's detached. He has no interest, nothing to gain in this material world. There's nothing to gain in this material world. What will it be? It's not false, but it's not mine. And it won't make me happy. False, the Mayavadis think everything is false, only Brahma is real. Eka Brahma Dutiya Nasti. Jagan Mithya, Brahma Satya. Only Brahman is real, the world is false. No. Everything is part of Krishna's energy, so everything is real, but it's not necessarily very happy. Yeah. Fire is Krishna's energy, but if I put my hand in the fire, I'm not going to be very happy.
I'm going to be there.
Anything else?
Krishna. Thank you for systematically teaching us how to go through the purport of Srila Prabhupada. So many times it comes in mind like the concept of Yukta Vairagya, and under that concept what we want to do, maybe we wanted to have a big house or a big
That's
car.
not Yukta Vairagya,
Yeah,
because
so-
Anusaktasya Vishya.
Yeah.
Yukta Vairagya is not that I remain attached to everything and I just stick a label on it, this is for Krishna.
Krishna, yeah, that's problematic.
Anusaktasya Vishya.
So, but we externally maybe we show that, yeah, I wanted to do that, but internally we may have some attachments. So how to take care of that?
Yes, one has to gradually, of course, best thing is, yes, detachment from using it for Krishna. Householders, they'll be attached to their money, attached to their home. But we have to learn the technique, how to use the home for Krishna. What is that? Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Manasadeha Geha Yogi Arpidutva Padema Nandakishore, my home, my mind, my everything. Elsewhere, Shuddha Bhakata Charanami Bhajana Anukula. The Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains all the favorable items for devotional service, how to perform, how to follow the regular principles for spiritual advancement. And he sees that this turns my home into Vaikuntha. What is that? Bhajana Deki Grihete, Goloka Bhai. I saw that this turns my home into Goloka Vrindavan. Why? What is Goloka Vrindavan? It's where Krishna is. As soon as Krishna is there, that's Goloka Vrindavan. Padamekam Nagarchati. Krishna never goes anywhere else. Vrindavan Parityajya. Padamekam Nagarchati. So, we learn detachment by learning how to dedicate everything for Krishna. Not just by, it's all false, let me give it up. But let me dedicate it for Krishna's service. My heart will be purified. I'll make progress. Is that okay?
Yes. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Anything else? All right. Yes, Machi.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. My question is around attachment with family members, especially like parents, kids. So, how can I live in the family but still be attached, not attached to family members?
How do we live in family association without being attached to family members? No, it's practically impossible. Even sages have a hard time giving up family attachment. So, better than trying to make a show, yes, I'm detached, I'm a sannyasi, or I'm a renounced devotee. No. Just let me be attached to engaging these people in Krishna's service, or assisting them in Krishna's service, and help them revive their Krishna consciousness, act in Krishna consciousness, love Krishna. If I do that, that's better than making a false show. But then, actually we should become detached. Therefore, Vanaprastha stage is there. Grihastha life is more or less attachment. But Vanaprastha means cultivating first step in detachment. That by chanting Hare Krishna, by seriously reading books like Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, by searching out the company of sadhus, by chanting Hare Krishna. One rises above the platform of material attachment or detachment. He becomes simply attached to serving Krishna. But it requires cultivation, and it requires the mercy of Krishna or Krishna's